Hey, hi, welcome guys. Welcome back to our channel, which is Five And yes, this is the Pandas second part. In the Pandas first part, we had seen the very basic stuff of the Pandas, how to manipulate the data and how to read the data from the different kind of file. Today, we will see a lot of new stuffs which not seen yet so far, so forth. And let's start without getting delay. We are going to start the session. And yes, so let me share my screen once. So what I did, I just import the packages like pandas and then numpy. This is the very common packages. If you can see, if you will go to any kind of whether you are in deep learning field, whether you are in machine learning, whether you are in data science, whether you are a data scientist, these two packages are very common. And even though in the development field also we supposed to use these two packages like a pandas and numpy. And then today what we are going to show you, we are going to read the data from one of the URL. Means you can say it's a kind of API. Okay, what I did, just a minute, let me explain this. If you will go this URL, if you can hit this URL, you can able to find the things what is there in that URL. Just let me show you. You can see there is a data right in the form of the table. You can see this is the data in the form of the table. So pandas is pandas is able to read the data from the HTML file also. Whether the data is not present in the CSV, it is present in the form of the tabular, then also the data can be able to read by the pandas. So this is the URL. And yeah, basically we, in order to scrap the data from the web portal, we supposed to use the beautiful soap, but pandas having also capability to read the data. So what you can do, so I just wrote pd.read HTML and I pass that URL, and yes, I am able to read the data bbb, 1 minute, bb underscore data. And if I'm executing this, let me execute this. Yes, I'm able to get the all those datas. You can see if whatever data is present here in the form of the tabular. Yes, you can read the data, and in case of pandas, you can able to read the data which data is present in the form of the tabular only. Means if you want to read the data like this basketball, you cannot able to read the data with the help of the pandas. For that, there is a different library that we will see later on. There is a beautiful soup libraries are there. With that, we are able to read the data. Okay, now similarly, I just there is a one more. If you have the data some in GitHub repository and you want to access those data here, that is also possible, as I already discussed in yesterday's session, I guess. So just paste this URL. This is the one URL. If you can hit this URL, you can see there is a data. It's a Titanic data set. Okay, so very famous data set you can get over the Google. So this data set, see, you can see all this data has been separated with the tab. Okay, so this tab, in the sense of, you can see here is the gap. So it's all data has been separated with the in the form of the tab. So if you want to read the data, so what you can do, pd.read CSV, read CSV. Just a minute, read CSV, and here if you pass this URL, and yes, I am able to read the data, but data is not in the correct format. Why? Because read CSV in the sense of data will be separated in the form of the comma. So by default it will take as a comma, but my data is in the form of where there is a separator is /t, tab. And now if you are going to read the data, yes, I am able to read the data in the correct format. And let me store this data. Suppose I want to store in the sum of the variable. You can also do 1 minute, Titanic. And yes, I am going to store the data in one of the variable, name is Titanic. Okay, so that is also possible. Yeah, there is a one more argument, one more method call you can call in the pandas, like a head method. So if you are not passing any argument over the head, by default, okay, Titanic, sorry, name is not correct. Okay, so if you are calling the head method on the top of the Titanic data, so you will get by default 5 data points. Means, so from the top you will get 5 datas. We have so many datas. So if you want to check how many data you have, so there is some methods are there. You can call Titanic dot save. Titanic.safe. If you see here, 156 rows are there and 12 columns are there. So out of 156, whatever the top 5 rows we having, that rows I got it with the head method. And suppose you want first 10 rows, so then you can pass the 10 here and it will give you 10 rows. Suppose you want 20 rows, you can pass here 20 and it will give you 20 rows. How many numbers you are passing over the head method, you will get that 20 that number of data from the top. Suppose you don't want from the top, you want from the bottom, so that is also possible here. Just Titanic.tail method you can call, and tail method by default will give from the bottom 5 rows. You can see there is one total 156 rows are there, and data is going to be start from the 0. The 0 to 125 155 become 156. So from 155, 154, 153, 152, 151, we got 5 data from the bottom. And suppose you need not 5, you need 10 rows from the bottom, you can pass here 10 and you will get the 10 rows from the bottom. Okay. And suppose there is so many things are there. Suppose you want to check how many columns are there. Okay, so Titanic, if you can pass Titanic dot columns, and yes, I'm able to get all those columns. You can see there is a columns like passenger ID, survived, P class, name, age, sex, sibling, and part, ticket, fare, Cbin, embarked. These all date columns are there. So you can call this column argument and with the Titanic dataset, and you will get all those columns, right? Okay. And suppose you want to check is there any null values are present or not. The Titanic dot is null is the one method, and you will get all those data, means all this value which having the null value. So if there is a null value, then you will get a true, otherwise you will get a false. But as there is a 156 rows are there, we are not able to get complete 156 rows here, right? Because there is a limitation of the Jupyter notebook. All those data you cannot able to see over the Jupyter console. So what we can do, we have to check, right? We have to check, is there any null value present in any particular column? The Titanic dot is null, and on the top of that I can call the sum method, and it will give the means wherever the null value. See, in the passenger ID we don't have any null value, survive we don't have null value, but in case of cabin we have 125 null value, in case of age we have 30 null values. So in this way you can see how many null values are present, and later on we will see how to deal with the null values. Right now just data manipulation techniques we are going to see, means how to check the null values. First we have to check whether null value is present or not. Once we get to know whether null value is present, then only we can treat over there, right? So until unless without knowing how to deal with the null value, right? So this is the way to check the null values, right? Next, suppose suppose you want to check on the particular column. So what we can do, just column this copy this passenger ID and come here Titanic, and here you can pass this, and see I can able to see only passenger ID wala column. And suppose you want two means you want to check two column at a time. So you have to means two column in the sense of passenger ID and survive. I want to see passenger ID and survive. So what we can do, basically comma and semicolon, and this it will give error. For sure it will give error, because whenever you want to access more than one column at a time, so you have to pass that column name in the form of the list or tuple, whatever you can say. I'm passing over the list. Okay, so these two column you can pass over the list, and now it works fine, right? You can see, right? I'm able to get complete two column at the same time. So in case of single rows, in case of you are dealing with the single column, that time no need to pass in form of the list or tuple. But in case whenever you want to see two column at a time, then you have to pass inside a list. Okay, now suppose you want to see what are the data types are present. See, you can see passenger ID in the form of the list, but survive is in the form of the passenger ID is in the form of integer, survive in the form of integer, P class in the form of integer, but name is in the form of the string, sex in the form of the string, and age in the form of the again float, in the form of the integer. So all those data, right? It's a different data type. Suppose you want to check all those data type of all column, then there is a method like a Titanic, Titanic dot dtype. Dtype you can call over here. You can see passenger ID is integer 64. By default, Jupyter Notebook support 64-bit. So that's what it is showing, integer 64. And wherever name, you can see name is object. Object in the sense of means object is the parent class. In any language, object is the parent class. So here, in spite of writing the string, it is giving the object. Okay, so that's what means there is a string. That's why it's showing as an object. Okay, so you in this way you can see what are the different data types are present here. Okay, fine. Next, I would like to show you some interesting thing. See, means once after loading the data, you can see here I loaded the data Titanic data set in the Titanic variable. So complete data got loaded, but I don't need to load complete data because my bandwidth is not there. Right now we have only 156 data point, right? But in future you might get million of data. So if you will fetch the million of data at a one shot, it might be take time. So I want to, for analysis purpose, I want only 10 or 15 rows, only 10 or 15 rows I want. So in that situation, what you can do? In that situation, you can simply, first load the data, then again you can call the head method. This is the one approach, but this is not recommended in that situation because ultimately you are loading the complete data here, right? 156 complete, 1 million data complete you are loading over the Titanic. Then on the top of that, you are calling the head method. So ultimately you are loading the complete data on your RAM. So, okay, so you are not utilizing your memory. So what you can do basically in this case, we can call pd dot option dot display dot max row is equal to 10. So this argument will give only 10 rows. Whatever data is present over the cloud, it will fetch only 10 rows. Okay, so let me show you how it is working. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, just try to understand. I'm just copying this these things, this thing here. I'm copying this and let's see whether it is actually it is working or not. Okay, so 1 minute. Okay, so Titanic, can you see this? Still 156 rows are coming. Why? Because this argument was working in the previous version of the pandas, you can say. Now they made a different argument here. If you can see, if you go inside of method trace set tab, and if you expand this, you can see here one argument is there, and rows is the argument. By default it's set it as a none. So you can define n rows is equal to 10 or 5, whatever data you need. n rows is equal to 10, and now I can able to get only 10 rows. What is this? IPython file csv n rows slash dev. Okay, sorry, I made my bad. I made a double. Now you can see I can able to see only 10 rows. So whatever data is present over the cloud, over the I can able to fetch only 10 rows. So this is the beauty of the n rows argument. Initially, whoever using the previous version of the pandas, this is the argument we should use to fetch the specific number of rows. But in case of new version of pandas, they made an argument like n rows, and with that you can able to fetch the data happen. Okay, cool. Next is what? Let's suppose there is a one more argument is there in case of read says chunk size. What is that chunk size? Can you see this? So what is the chunk size? Sorry. Okay, so there is a chunk size one argument. What is the chunk size? Please see the definition first. Okay, so what is the chunk size? Let me expand this, and if you can see, there is a one argument you can get here, like engine, this error and description, chunk size. Here is the one argument should be there. If you come down, you will get separator, squeeze. Here should be there. Basically, 1 minute. Is the one argument should be there. So very beautiful documentation they made here, they maintain. And if you can go, if you have to search, you have to search here, what is the chunk size. There, so you can see, can you see this chunk size? This is the one argument like chunk size, and what is saying, return text file editor, return, it will return the text file editor, and text file editor object for the iterations, object for the iteration. So what is the iteration? We had already discussed when we discussed about the iterator and generator topic. So what is basically doing it is, let me explain you. Sorry. So let me explain this. Okay, so basically if we are defining here chunk size, if we are defining here chunk size is equal to 1000. So what is doing here, suppose we have 150, we have 5 rows, we have 5 rows, 1 2 3 4, and each rows having size 30 byte. Okay, 30 byte. And 4 row, suppose 3 rows we have, the 30 byte 30 byte, all each row is the 30 byte. So how many byte it become? 90 byte. Okay, 90 byte, 90 byte. And suppose in future we added a new row, again it become 30 byte, and we define chunk size is equal to 1000 byte. Then what it will take, it will take only 10 byte of this last added row, and it become 100 byte, because because what is that, chunk size define 100. Okay, because what will happen, because we define chunk size is equal to 100. Okay, so it will take only 100 byte of data. Out of that, if there is a lot of data apart of 100 byte, it will not consider at all. Okay, so this is the beauty of the chunk size. Even though I never use this argument, but yes, you should know, as a learner, people should know what is the chunk size. Okay, basically whenever we are going to deal kind of NLP file, NLG file, at that moment we supposed to use this kind of argument, but right now it's more suitable, no need to use, but you should know. So what is going to be happen with the chunk size? I have a file like example 6.csv, and I define chunk size is equal to 1000. So you can see this will return a text file editor. If you can see the definition of the chunk size, definition of the chunk size, 1 minute, I'll show you the chunk size definition, what is saying, where it was just now we had seen. Catch data, yes, chunk size, it will return, can you see this, it will return the text file object for the iterator. So it is returning text file editor, means next what you have to do, you have to apply the for loop on the top of this, and you can fetch the data one by one. This is the one way. Okay, so yes, I'm not recommending the chunk size used, even though I never use the chunk size. Okay, now suppose I read the data, suppose. So yeah, you can see, sorry, I could not share my screen. Now see, you can see chunk size, I define the chunk size, and now I'm able to see this return type is the text file reader. And now you can apply the for loop on the top of this, and you can take the data one by one. This is the beauty of the chunk size. Suppose you took the data, suppose you took the data from the cloud, like HTML, right? This Titanic data, but it not stored in our local system. So suppose you want to store this data in your main memory, so there is the argument like suppose Titanic dot to CSV is the one method, and here you can write like this Titanic dot CSV. Got it. And now if I'm executing this code, and if you will go to my local system, and it is in desktop, MSDS AI, Python, Condas, example, you can see Titanic.csv, you will get it out. Okay, you can see here Titanic.csv. You can open it up and you just see whether all the, you can see only 10 rows we got it right. So in this way you can in this way you can read the data as well, no problem at all. Okay, you can store the data in your main memory. So 2CSV is the one method with which you are going to store the data in your main memory. Okay, cool. Let me show you this in my local system, how it is going to be stored. Okay, so you can see my 1 minute. If you can see in my desktop and MSDS and AI Python, and here condas pandas and example, and here you will get one Titanic dataset. You can see this Titanic dataset, and if I am going to open over the Excel, then I am getting all this data. Not T series, this is the Titanic, sorry, my bad. The Titanic, you can see all this 10 rows, we got it. So if you want to store in your main memory, then you can use the 2CSV method. Okay, so with that 2CSV, you are able to read the data. Cool. Okay, so what we did, we stored in the main memory. Now next what we can do, next, suppose you don't want to store the data as a comma separated. You want to store the data in form of, kind of something like, I'm going to show you Titanic1.csv, and here is the one argument is also present like a separator. By default, separator is the comma. So that's what data is going to be stored in the form of the comma separator. Now I'm going to use the separator is equal to something like a at the rate. Okay, and now if I'm executing this code, and now if you will go to your main memory, now if you'll go to the main memory, and just again I'm going to open my main memory desktop and MSDS Python condas example, and you can see again one data got created, Titanic 1.data.csv, and here you can see all those data is separated in the form of the at the rate, because we used here separator at the rate. You can see, got it. So hope it makes sense, right? Now let me show you something, and now I'm going to deal with some interesting topic. This is the very important as of now. Suppose I wrote a Titanic data set, right? I wrote a Titanic data set, and let me open the Titanic data set first. Titanic, and what is this? You are able to get this, and let's suppose, let me copy this line of code first. This line of code. And now what I'm going to show you, wait a minute, Control V, and inside of this there is a one more argument is there, header. If you'll go here, header is the infer, and if you, and index is the true. So now if you are going to make a like this argument, like index is equal to false, so it by default pandas is giving the index 0 1 2 3 like this. Suppose you don't want this, you want your own index, so you can make it index is equal to false. This is the one argument. And what is that? Index parser got an expected argument of index. Okay, 1 minute, let me see what is this. If you can see why it is not working. Okay, 1 minute. Separator slash d and rows comma index is the one argument here, index x is equal to false, false, and if now we are going to execute, yes, I am able to get. And now if you are going to see Titanic data set, can you see this now? Okay, index column false, 1 minute, just giving error, got an expect. Okay, we'll see whether this argument is present or not. Okay, they removed this argument in the modern version of the pandas, so we cannot use this at all. So okay, we'll see what we can do. Here I'm going to show you read CSV, and here comma index. Okay, maybe there is just some issue with this index argument. Okay, so let's see. I'll show you what is the index. I mean, so why in what is the another parameter we supposed to pass in place of index. Okay, so now another thing we are going to discuss here, like a time range function. So what is the time date range function? So basically, let me execute this on the separate column, and so basically, suppose you are going to execute this command, and here dates if you are going to execute dates, we are able to get the dates from this 1/1/2020 to the till 7 dates, means 1/1/2020, 2/1/2020, 3/1/2020, all those things we are getting. Okay, so this is the date, and you want to use, and suppose I'm going to create one, these things. I'm going to create one I'm going to create one series kind of data, and here I am going to use this method, and it will create an index. And now I'm not going to give the index here. Suppose I'm not going to give the index, and yes, it got created the series. And suppose you want to see the data here, ts, I'm able to get the data 0 0. By default, pandas is giving the index 0 1 2 3, but I don't want default value of index. You want my own index. So what I can set here, index is equal to dates. I'm able to set my own index value here. You can see, right? That's all, guys. Hope you enjoyed the session, and thanks for watching this. Please, if you like this video, please do like, share, and subscribe our channel so that you cannot miss our latest update. The next video we are going to make on the machine learning and Tableau. Okay, so keep on watching, stay tuning. Thank you, guys. Thank you.